In this video today, I'm going to show you how to use a knitted cast on using double pointed needles, but of course you could use any kind of needle you want with this. There's just a couple of things that I think are important that you might like to know about. Let's start with the slip knot. So I'm going to do a tail adjusted slip knot, which allows you to adjust your first stitch after the fact. So begin by wrapping the yarn around your finger so that the tail of the yarn points up. And then make your slip knot as usual. And if you want to test it, just notice that if you pull on the tail of the yarn, your slip knot gets smaller. This is a trick that I learned from Lucy Neatby, and I think it's so totally clever. So make yourself a tail adjusted slip knot, slip it onto your knitting needle, and snug it up. We don't want this cast on to be super tight. We just want it to be nice and elastic, particularly if you're doing it for socks. I'm going to take my second needle. This is a 2 needle cast on, and I'm going to insert, I've got my slip knot on my left hand needle, and I'm holding it in place with my index finger, and then I'm going to insert my empty knitting needle into that stitch as if to knit. Wrap the yarn around the tip of the needle and pull it through, pull that loop through or that yarn over through the bottom of the stitch. And we're going to park it on the left hand needle because we're casting on. We're going to do it so that we twist the bottom of the stitch. So I'm going to bring my left hand needle tip around and insert it underneath or into the underside of that loop on my right hand needle. And then I'm going to let it go onto my left hand needle and I'm going to snug it up, but not too tightly. I want to work into this next stitch, and it's hard to get that needle in there if you pull too tightly on the yarn. So just keep it nice and loose. Slip your needle tip, your right hand needle tip back into that stitch, and now you can give it a tug and snug it up. Wrap the yarn around the right hand needle in the back, and you're going to use that right hand needle to pull that yarn over through the base of the stitch, the bottom there, make it nice and big, and then take the tip of your left hand needle and put it under or into the underside of the front half of that loop, and then take this needle out, snug it up gently, stick the needle back in, give it a good tug. All right, wrap the yarn around the needle, the right hand needle, pull that yarn through to the front, and insert the tip of your left hand needle through the underside of the front of the loop on your right hand needle. And this time, don't take your right hand needle out. Just put it underneath your left hand needle and snug everything up again. Let's try that again. Yarn around the right hand needle, pull that yarn through the front of the loop that's on your left hand needle, take the tip of your left hand needle and insert it into the underside of the loop that's on your right hand needle. Now just take your right hand needle and place it under the left hand needle and snug everything up. This just smooths out the motion. Okay, one more time in the efficient way. Yarn around the right hand needle, which is underneath the left hand needle. Pull that yarn over through to the front of your work with the right hand needle. Make that loop nice and big. Take your left hand needle and insert it underneath and into the loop on your right hand needle. Now just slide your right hand needle over and under the left hand needle and snug it up. This is called a long tail cast on. And the reason it's called a long tail cast on is because you need a long tail and 2 needles. And we're just making stitches, casting on stitches onto the left hand needle. And I've taught you how to do it so that your loops are not too tight. But now I'm going to add in one more thing that's important if you're going to do socks, and that's to increase the spacing between the stitches because we want our socks to be elastic. So I've shown you how to make it easy to cast on. Now I'm going to peel these off and show you how to make them not just elastic but also spaced evenly. So take those first cast off stitches off your needle and pull them out. Let's go back to the slip knot. We'll adjust it by pulling on the tail. Okay, we're going to make the first stitch just like before. So insert your right hand needle into the slip knot, wrap the yarn around it, pull the yarn through the bottom, insert your left hand needle into the loop on your right hand needle, and keep your right hand needle in place. But this time, as you snug it up, hold your index finger of your left hand in between the two stitches, just to increase the space between the two stitches as you work it. Let's wrap the yarn around the right hand needle and make another stitch. Pop it on your left hand needle. Hold the right hand needle in place underneath the left hand needle, but keep the index finger of your left hand in between those two stitches to space them a little further apart. Okay, so why are we doing this? Because you want the space between the stitches to be a little wider than you would if you didn't stick your finger in there and space them out. And this creates a more elastic cast on. It's a very simple cast on, it's easy to do, but making it elastic means increasing the spaces between the stitches. And that's really nice if you're casting on for socks or for mittens or a hat, any place where you need to have a cast on that has a little more stretch than you might otherwise have. There are lots of other stretchy cast-ons. I just wanted to show you how to make this very simple long tail cast-on stretchier. All right, cast on.